Hey, we're back here on the Coaches Show on CIH Media. I'm Eric Pesolano. We're joined as always by the coach and general manager of the Bozeman Icedogs of the NA3HL, Mike Perkins. Coach, I haven't seen you in a couple of months, so I will officially say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well, pal. Miss you and glad to be back on with you.
And happy President's Day as well. To kick off the holiday and our show today, I have a trivia question for you. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, well, before you get to that, when I'm not involved with youth hockey, I don't even realize it's President's Weekend and President's Day.
Yeah.
I actually had to notice the calendar last night. I was doing some work at the office and I looked at the calendar and the number was red. And I'm like, oh, it is President's Weekend. In youth hockey, it's tournament weekend, so you always know.
Yeah, out here in Southern California, right? We cover the Anaheim Ducks and LA Kings high school hockey leagues, and everybody pauses this week right in the middle of their playoffs because of all the President's Weekend tournaments. So we're back at it next weekend. But all right, here's a trivia question. Who was the first sitting US president to visit Montana? This is a tough one.
I mean, I would say Theodore Roosevelt, but I got to believe that somebody before.
So that's, first of all, amazing because Teddy was the second sitting U.S. president to visit Montana.
For sure, because of the national park system that he created. But prior to that, man.
This one was a tough one. It was Chester A. Arthur.
Would never have got that. No.
I looked it up just before we started recording, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to get this. But I'm very impressed that you got the second one.
Yeah.
Chester A. Arthur, 1883, visited Yellowstone. So
1883. Wow.
National Parks thing, you got it right there, right? With Yellowstone.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Yellowstone, you see how we do these segues? Oh God, they're beautiful.
Yes, it works well.
You got a big series this weekend against Yellowstone on Friday and Saturday, both at home. And we were chatting a little bit about this before we started recording here. Yellowstone's had a rough season. They don't have a win yet, but they may be looking to play a little bit of spoiler coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this morning in our morning meeting, and just wanted to remind the guys that we're not looking past them. Obviously, we want to get ready for playoffs, which is pretty awesome. We got to congratulate the guys and congratulate the coaching staff on clinching a spot in the playoffs and actually clinching third place. But we talked about how Yellowstone would love to come in and put a notch on their belt and say that they beat the Bozeman Icedogs on their way out. It'd be a good opportunity for them to do that this weekend, and we got to play some good hockey regardless of who's here and what their record is, and we got to get ready for playoffs.
Yeah, I know it's been a rough year for them, but they didn't record a point before the turn of the new year, and they've got 3 overtime losses now here between these last 2 months. So they are playing better. So yeah, you definitely got to be careful of a trap game, as it were, over the next couple of days.
I think they're trying to rally around each other right now and trying to finish the season out the best they can, and got to give them a lot of credit on that end of it. And they got good people there, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for them this year, but they're coming here this weekend and they're going to come and play hockey, and we got to put our best game on the ice. There's no doubt.
And speaking of playing well, since the last time you and I chatted, you guys are 11-3. All those games coming here in 2024. Won 11 of your last 12, and 6 in a row. What has been the X factor for you guys?
I think we're 17-3 in our last 20. So
yeah,
we've just before Christmas, we got off to a good roll, and then we went into the showcase and had a good showcase, and then came out of it. We had a little hiccup against Helena and some craziness on Saturday night, which we won't get into. But nevertheless, we came back the following weekend. The unfortunate part about that weekend against Helena, we lost our top 2 scorers for the season. Spencer Wilkinson and Chris Pershunkula both broke their collarbones and out for the season. Really unfortunate for them, obviously, as players. Very difficult to handle a season-ending injury, and then obviously tough for us because we're losing our 1 and 2 scorers on the team, and they were really getting it going at that point. And but I got to give a lot of credit to the rest of the guys. They've picked up, and they've, no matter what's happened since then, and they're not the only ones injured. Sean Smurf, season-ending injury as well, against Great Falls. And then Braden Clea has been battling a shoulder issue since last season, and he's been out for probably the last month. And then Andrew Countess went down Friday night against Butte. So, you're talking a lot of top 6 players that are missing from our lineup. Very unfortunate on that end for those guys. But when stuff like that happens, you got to have other guys that are going to step into the lineup and make things happen. And we've had that, and a lot of the credit has to go to those players. And I got to give some credit to Paul Butner and Jeff Burton and the coaching staff to stick with it. And been really easy to throw in the towel and say, man, this is just too much to overcome. But we haven't done that. We've kept going and found ways to win, and they haven't always been pretty, but we've put 2 points up on the standings column quite a few nights when maybe a lot of people didn't think we were.
I mean, obviously everybody can see it in the score sheet when they watch the games, who's stepping up offensively, where the points are coming from, how the goaltenders are performing. But with all your leaders going down, who in the locker room has stepped up and kind of filled that leadership role?
Well, for sure, on a leadership end of it, it's always been Matthew Reinanen and Mason Zarnecki. They've really led the team through the majority of the season. They've done a fantastic job. We've also gotten some great leadership from Cody Wallenberg and Braden Clea and Bryce Sturm. Those 3 guys are definitely part of our leadership group and wear letters on the ice. So those guys have all been a big part of it. But there's no doubt, from a scoring standpoint, everybody's played a role in it. I don't care what line you've been on. Obviously, Zarnecki and Wallenberg and Shepherdson have really chipped in and done a great job with their line. But it goes all the way down to Countess before the injury, and Dom Hauer was a good addition at right around the middle of January when we picked him up. He definitely came back and took him a little time to kind of get into it, but he's helped in with the scoring. And then Sam Ingram and Tyler Klingbeil and Gus Loham and Joe Klein and Lex Steckelberg and Aiden Clements. I mean, the list goes on of guys that have scored timely goals that have really helped us win hockey games, and it doesn't matter. And we've gotten great support on the back end. Our defensemen have continued to improve and progress, and we did make one acquisition before the trade deadline, and getting Landon Hidman, who's been a big part of our decor now, and couldn't be happier to have him a part of the Bozeman Icedogs organization. So I think a lot of that has gone on the remainder of the team. They've banded together and through thick and thin and found ways to get it done. Like I said, it hasn't always been pretty, but keep finding a way to put 2 points up.
You mentioned Matthew Reinanen, and let's rewind a couple of weeks ago. He had quite the performances against Badlands, stopping 69 out of 72 in those 2 games. Ended up being a Frontier Division first star of the week. I know he's one of the go-tos for this team. How have you seen him progress throughout this season? What aspects have you seen him improve?
Well, Matthew's kind of an old soul personality, right? He's pretty reserved, and he's got a real level head about him, which go figure why he's one of our leaders. But as far as his on-ice performance, he's super athletic, and I think the work that he's done with Paul Butner on the goalie coaching side of things, and then the other, Isaac Weatherford, and then Sean Smurr while he was here, and then now we picked up a third goalie, Ryan Stowe. Picked him up from Great Falls. He's been a good addition. He's a great locker room guy. He's a good goaltender. But I think Matthew has really taken to the goalie coaching that he's gotten this year from Coach Buettner, and really improved his game. He had a lot of qualities and traits that were really solid, which was a great foundation for Coach Buettner to work with. But really to kind of take it from where he was at the beginning of the year to now is he's done an awful lot of work, and we can't be happier that we made that transaction over the course of the summer. We knew we were going to need a 20-year-old goaltender throughout the year, and we were right about it. So he's that guy, and he's going to carry the mail here for us down the rest of the way. But you got to take a look at Isaac Weatherford, who played Saturday night in Butte and had a great performance, and it's something that we've known about Isaac all along, that he's capable of doing that. It's just he's coming off a year of not playing hockey and double hip surgery, and Isaac is a hard worker and a great locker room guy as well, and really liked by his teammates, and it's been fun to see his progression as well, and really his job is going to be to really kind of push Smur and Reinanen over the course of the year, and unfortunately with Sean's injury, it's really kind of catapulted Isaac into a position where he's got to be ready to go, and now with Ryan Stowe in the mix too, it really kind of creates a good competition on the goaltending front. And we faced him a lot last year. He won a couple games against us last year where we were kind of scratching our heads, and he made some great saves for great falls. So to have him aboard has been awesome. He's like I said before, he's a great locker room guy.
Yeah, going back to Isaac Weatherford, he stopped 51 of 52, according to the score sheet, in the game on Saturday night, in the 4-1 win over Butte. So great job by him. All right, last 4 games of the season are upon us. You've got 3 of them at home, with 2 coming up this weekend against Yellowstone, which we talked about already. What's the message in the locker room, knowing now that you're locked into that 3 seed? You can't move anywhere. What are you telling your boys for these last 4 games?
Like I said before, we don't want to look past this weekend, but we want to prepare for the playoff run here, and then obviously having Helena on the last weekend. If we could have picked a team to play against in the last weekend before playoffs, I would have said them. They're going to give us everything that we can handle and more, and will give us a really good tune-up, regardless of who we're playing. And if you'd have said you're going to be in the playoffs, but you got to play Helena at the last weekend, I just said we'd take it. And this is what we got. Yes, Yellowstone this weekend, and we got a little bit of festivities going on. We have our Billet Family Appreciation Night on Friday. We also have our Player Parent Appreciation Night on Saturday night. Friday night, we have our game night sponsor, Advanced Eye Care, is going to be there with their staff and employees to represent and to cheer on the team on Friday night. We're excited about that, to have them, and just kind of a lot of stuff going on over the weekend, which is good, and it's going to be fun. But we got work to do too. So we got 4 points laying out there in front of us, and we got to go get those.
Saw the bonding moment last week when the team got to hang out on the outdoor rink. What was that like? And I saw you were out there skating around too.
Yeah, we had a good time. This is something that we've been working on over the course of the whole year. And down in Big Sky, they have a great outdoor rink right off the downtown area of Big Sky, and we work with their youth people and their organizers to come down and get on the ice with the kids. And really what we did is we went out and got the kids on the ice, and we ran a couple of drills for them so they could see us moving and what that was like. And they had wide open eyes as guys were flying by them. And then we broke down into some stations with the kids and worked on some skill development with them, worked on some skating and some shooting and some passing and stick handling. And then we played some games at the end. It was real fun. And the parents down there were super excited, and we're hoping to get those guys up here either Friday or Saturday night, or both, to watch some games this weekend. We talked to them about that, and so we're working on that as well. But the guys had a blast, and we wore our game jerseys and socks and stuff to out on the ice, which was real fun. The guys had a blast with that. And I think the guys probably would have liked to have a little bit more time to kind of mess around and have some fun. But obviously you got to give back to the community, and working with the kids was a great way to be able to do that.
Great decision on wearing the white sweaters too. They look really clean in those pictures.
Yeah, it looked pretty good, didn't it? Yeah. Earlier in the evening, we took a few pictures as the sun was kind of going down, and they were kind of darkish, which we didn't have very good flash on our phones. But as the night progressed and they got darker, and then the lights came on, yeah, the whites really popped in some of those pictures.
Oh, that was really cool. I was checking them out the other day, and I've never skated on an outdoor rink before. Maybe one day. I never know. I know that's the norm for you growing up. I'm sure.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the guys really appreciate that, kind of get back to the roots of the game a little bit, and getting out in the fresh air. And the temperature was pretty good. It was like when we started, it was maybe 23, 24. And then by the time, we got done, it was maybe 19, 20, which was perfect for skating outdoors. And the funny thing is, as we were leaving, the kids, we were leaving, but the kids stayed out on the ice. And one of the parents had said, yeah, these kids will stay out in all kinds of weather. They don't even care. They just love to play hockey, which was awesome to hear. Right. And, just being able to give back to some kids that love the game, that want to play the game. And it's fun to see.
All right, Coach, as we wrap up our show this week, any final thoughts heading into the doubleheader this weekend?
Yeah, it's status quo. We're going to keep working and getting better. And just a couple of things though. Also tomorrow we're going over to Chief Joseph's Middle School, and it's Dr. Seuss Day, and nice. We're meeting at 7:30. They're serving green eggs and ham. And then we're reading from like 8:20 to 8:45 to the kids and Dr. Seuss books, and excited. The guys are all going to go over. We're going to wear our jerseys and hang out with the kids a little bit tomorrow, and kind of a much needed day off of the ice. So kind of, I think there'll be a few guys that'll be disappointed, but we're going to go read to the kids and have a little bit of a fun day.
Oh, the places you'll go in the community.
The places we will go.
To help out everybody. I love it. Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend. Don't forget, follow along with the Bozeman Icedogs on Facebook, on Instagram. And you can also follow the NA3HL on Instagram as well. And follow us on CIH Media. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, and we're probably going to be on the TikTok soon. So keep an eye out for that, and follow us on YouTube as well. This has been the Coaches Show on CIH Media. Until next time. So long, everyone.